Look around you, truly look beyond the immediate surface of our world. What if the very fabric of our reality, from the majestic architecture that inspires awe to the subtle emblems woven into ancient traditions, held a deeper secret? What if the art adorning sacred spaces, the intricate designs etched into historical artifacts, and even the seemingly simple shapes we encounter daily weren't just decorative? What if they were coded messages, whispers from an unbroken lineage of wisdom, waiting to be deciphered by those willing to perceive beyond the obvious? Consider the pervasive influence of symbols, silently speaking across millennia. From the precise geometry reflected in monumental structures to the allegorical narratives embedded in myths, humanity has always communicated through a language far richer than mere words. A potent language of form, relationship, and profound meaning. And at the heart of this ancient, silent discourse lies a truly profound question: what if the world's most enduring symbols, those powerful, enigmatic glyphs that have captivated minds for centuries, held a key, not just to unlocking historical mysteries, but to a transformative understanding of ourselves? What if they were signposts on an inner journey, guiding us towards self-mastery and enlightened perspective? Picture the timeless power of the square and compasses. More than simple tools, they embody universal principles of morality, conduct, and our harmonious place in the grand design of existence. Or gaze upon the all-seeing eye, an emblem found across diverse cultures and eras, inviting contemplation on providence, inner wisdom, and the constant introspection vital for personal growth. These are not arbitrary designs, they are concentrated reservoirs of human contemplation, speaking of order, balance, and the potential within each of us. For generations, traditions have served as custodians of this symbolic lexicon. Among the most enduring is the ancient institution of Freemasonry. Far from a mere social club, Freemasonry has, for centuries, utilized a rich tapestry of symbols and allegories as a systematic methodology for moral instruction and the individual's quest for self-knowledge. It's a tradition deeply steeped in seeking and interpreting these deeper meanings. And it is precisely this profound symbolic universe we are about to explore. Our guide on this extraordinary journey is the eminent scholar and Freemason, Albert G. Mackey, M.D. His monumental work, The Symbolism of Freemasonry, illustrating and explaining its science and philosophy, its legends, myths, and symbols, stands as an indispensable torchbearer, illuminating the intricate pathways of this secret language. Mackey doesn't just present symbols, he unpacks their historical roots, philosophical underpinnings, and their direct application to the human condition. Let me be clear, this exploration is not an invitation to delve into the sensationalized secrets of a clandestine society. Instead, it is an unveiling of a universal system of self-discovery, a timeless methodology for unlocking inner potential, preserved and transmitted through the potent imagery of symbolic art and ritual. It's a journey into the heart of human wisdom, reflected in geometry, architecture, and allegory. It's a quest to understand not just what these symbols mean, but what they reveal about our own inherent capacity for growth, reason, and enlightenment. Join us now as we embark upon this fascinating intellectual and spiritual adventure. Together, we will begin to decode the secret language of symbols, and in doing so, perhaps discover profound and enduring truths about ourselves, our purpose, and our place within the grand, symbolic tapestry of existence. Welcome, seekers of wisdom, to a journey that promises to illuminate the hidden paths of ancient thought and modern self-discovery. Today, we embark on an exploration guided by a true master, a foundational text that has shaped understandings for generations. I'm speaking, of course, about Albert G. Mackey's monumental work, The Symbolism of Freemasonry, illustrating and explaining its science and philosophy, its legends, myths and symbols. This isn't just a book, it's a profound treasury of insights, often considered the definitive guide to understanding the intricate symbolic language and philosophical underpinnings of Freemasonry. For anyone seeking to grasp the deeper meanings behind this ancient fraternity, Mackey's meticulous scholarship and profound understanding make this an indispensable companion. Now, my own introduction to this remarkable volume might surprise you. I first encountered Mackey's symbolism not as a Mason, nor with any intention of joining the craft. Instead, I picked up this book as someone, much like many of you perhaps, who was earnestly searching for a coherent framework, a guiding philosophy for building a more meaningful, principled, and ultimately, a more fulfilling life. I was looking for timeless truths, accessible wisdom that could transcend specific doctrines, and a structure upon which to build personal character and understanding. What I discovered within these pages far exceeded my expectations. It offered a profound blueprint for self-improvement and a rich tapestry of human experience expressed through universal symbols. This video series, therefore, is not an attempt to unveil secret rituals or to provide an exposé on a mysterious society. Far from it. My goal, and what I hope you'll gain from joining me, is to delve into and unpack the universal lessons on morality, ethics, truth, and profound personal development that are so eloquently hidden and illustrated within these symbols and narratives. We'll explore how these ancient principles, though often couched in specific Masonic language, offer actionable insights and profound philosophical concepts that are entirely relevant to our modern lives, regardless of our affiliations or beliefs. So, whether you are a Mason yourself, a curious academic, someone interested in esoteric traditions, or simply an individual on your own quest for deeper meaning and personal growth, I extend a heartfelt welcome. This exploration is for all of you. No prior knowledge of Freemasonry is required, nor is any specific spiritual or philosophical alignment. My only invitation is for an open mind and a willingness to explore profound ideas that have resonated with humanity for centuries. Together, we'll discover how the symbolism Mackey so expertly unravels can serve as a powerful mirror, reflecting back principles that can illuminate our own journeys toward wisdom and self-mastery. Let's begin this fascinating voyage into the heart of timeless wisdom. Welcome to the Symbolism of Freemasonry, an exploration into the profound wisdom woven into the very fabric of one of history's most enduring fraternal organizations. Our journey begins with Chapter 1, The Foundation. What is symbolism? Here, we lay the groundwork for understanding not just what symbols Freemasonry employs, but why it relies upon them so fundamentally, elevating their use into what Albert G. Mackey calls a science of morality taught through allegory. From the dawn of human consciousness, we have instinctively turned to symbols to express ideas and emotions too complex for mere words. A symbol is far more than a simple sign. It is a profound vessel of meaning, capable of speaking to us on multiple levels simultaneously. This inherent capacity gives rise to a critical distinction, the exoteric and the esoteric. The exoteric meaning is the surface-level, outwardly apparent understanding what you see at first glance. It's the obvious, the readily accessible interpretation, often a starting point. However, beneath this visible layer lies the esoteric meaning. This is the deeper, more profound, often hidden or spiritual truth that a symbol conveys. It requires contemplation, insight, and an openness to receive wisdom not immediately declared. Freemasonry, as a system of moral and philosophical instruction, thrives on this duality. Its symbols are designed to initiate inquiry, to invite the seeker to look beyond the obvious and discover richer layers of understanding reserved for those who are prepared to truly see. The power of symbols, as Mackey so eloquently argues, lies precisely in their ability to teach complex ideas that words alone frequently fail to capture. Imagine trying to articulate the entirety of justice or wisdom with only dictionary definitions. Words are finite, they pin down concepts. Symbols, however, are expansive. They evoke, suggest, and resonate, allowing for a depth of personal experience and intuitive comprehension that transcends the rigid boundaries of linguistic expression. They speak directly to the soul, implanting moral and philosophical truths in a way that is both subtle and indelible. Mackey viewed symbolism as a universal language, one that predates the very invention of written alphabets. Before hieroglyphs or cuneiform, before scrolls or books, humanity communicated its most sacred and enduring truths through symbols. These ancient emblems transcended cultural and linguistic barriers, forming a common ground of understanding among diverse peoples. They represent an inherent human capacity to grasp universal principles, speaking to a shared human experience that remains relevant across millennia. It is this profound understanding of symbolism that Freemasonry elevates into a precise science of morality. Far from being arbitrary, Masonic symbolism is a carefully constructed system where each symbol and allegory is meticulously chosen and arranged to convey specific ethical, philosophical, and spiritual lessons. The entire curriculum of a Freemason's journey is delivered not through didactic lectures alone, but primarily through the interpretation of these powerful symbols and the allegories that weave them into narrative form. Through this symbolic science, Freemasonry guides its members towards self-improvement, intellectual enlightenment, and a deeper connection to the divine. The allegories, often drawn from ancient crafts and traditions, become living parables illustrating virtues like fidelity, integrity, benevolence, and industry. They offer blueprints for ethical living, principles for building character, and pathways to a more meaningful existence. Thus, the apparently simple tools of the operative Mason are transformed into profound instruments for the speculative Mason, teaching him how to construct a moral and upright life. This systematic approach to moral instruction through ancient, universal language is the very foundation upon which Freemasonry builds its enduring legacy. Welcome back to our journey through the profound wisdom embedded within Albert G. Mackey's seminal work, The Symbolism of Freemasonry. As we step further into its intricate tapestry, we arrive at Chapter 2, The Two Pillars, Bows and Jachin. More than mere architectural support, these pillars stand as a gateway, inviting us to contemplate the very foundations of knowledge and a balanced existence. Our exploration begins, as much of Masonic symbolism does, with the legendary account of King Solomon's Temple. Imagine approaching that magnificent edifice. Flanking the porch, before the entrance to the inner sanctum, stood two colossal brass columns. These were not simply decorative, They were imbued with profound meaning, representing dual forces essential to both spiritual and material construction, the pillars, bows, and jachin. Mackey, in his meticulous analysis, illuminates their individual significance. The pillar on the left, bows, carries a name derived from the Hebrew meaning in strength or by strength. It speaks to vigor, resilience, and the inherent power required for any great endeavor. It is the active principle. Its counterpart, jachin on the right, signifies he shall establish or to establish. This pillar represents stability, permanence, and the foundation upon which enduring structures, be they physical temples or philosophical truths, are built. It is the principle of order and continuity. Together, bows and jachin form a complete statement. In strength shall this house be established. They are an eloquent testament to the crucial interplay of duality. One without the other is insufficient. Strength without establishment leads to chaos, power without purpose. Establishment without strength is fragile, easily crumbled. Their balanced presence allows for harmonious and lasting creation. But the symbolism of bows and jachin extends far beyond ancient temples. These twin pillars offer a potent metaphor for the balance we strive for in our own lives, a constant reminder of the interplay between seemingly opposing forces. Consider, for instance, the dynamic between reason and emotion. Bows, perhaps, embodies the strength of our logical minds, our capacity for analytical thought. Jachin, then, represents the establishment of our emotional intelligence, intuition, empathy, and the stable inner self that anchors our decisions. A life governed solely by cold reason can be brittle. One swayed entirely by raw emotion can lack direction. True wisdom lies in their harmonious integration. Similarly, we can view them as representing action and contemplation. Bows as the strength to act, to engage with the world, to manifest intentions through effort. Jachin as the established space for quiet reflection, for introspection, for planning before the leap of action. To constantly act without reflection leads to exhaustion. To perpetually contemplate without action renders our insights inert. The true master of their own life learns to step between these pillars, understanding when to apply strength and when to seek establishment, creating a path both dynamic and enduring. The two pillars are not just relics of an ancient past. They are living symbols, challenging us to recognize the dualities within ourselves and the world. They invite us to consciously build a life that is not merely strong, but also firmly established, a life that is balanced, purposeful, and profoundly meaningful. As we continue our exploration, keep these pillars in mind, for they truly are a gateway to deeper understanding. Welcome back as we delve deeper into Albert G. Mackey's profound insights in the symbolism of Freemasonry. In this chapter, The Working Tools Instruments of Self-Improvement, we uncover how the seemingly simple implements of a stonemason are elevated to powerful allegories, guiding us toward moral and ethical living. Mackey reveals that these aren't just relics of an ancient craft, but timeless symbols designed to shape character, refine spirit, and build a better self. First, let us contemplate the square. In the hands of a skilled stonemason, the square ensures precision, rectitude, and the perfect 90-degree angle, vital for constructing a stable and enduring edifice. Symbolically, however, its meaning transcends mere geometry. The square becomes the emblem of morality, integrity, and truth. It reminds us of our duty to square our actions, to align our conduct with the highest principles of honesty, fairness, and justice in all our dealings. Every thought, every word, every deed is to be measured against this unerring standard, ensuring that the structure of our character is built upon an unshakable foundation of virtue. It compels us to examine our motivations, to act with sincerity, and to maintain a steadfast adherence to what is right, even when faced with temptation or adversity. Just as a builder cannot compromise on the squareness of a stone without risking the entire structure, so too must we ensure that our moral compass is true, guiding us to live a life of unimpeachable rectitude. Next, we turn our attention to the compasses. This elegant instrument, with its two legs capable of drawing perfect circles and arcs, speaks volumes about self-governance. In its practical application, it defines boundaries and measures distances with exactitude. In Freemasonry, the compasses are presented to teach us a vital lesson: how to circumscribe our desires and keep our passions in due bounds. Imagine the compasses drawing a circle around your innermost self. Within that circle lies temperance, moderation, and self-control. Outside it lie the excesses of ambition, envy, gluttony, and all the uncontrolled passions that can lead us astray. The compasses, therefore, symbolize the necessity of reason governing emotion, of finding balance between our material wants and our spiritual needs. They encourage us to cultivate wisdom, to exercise prudence, and to master those impulses that would otherwise disrupt our inner harmony and lead us to transgress against our conscience or our fellow human beings. By consciously circumscribing our desires, we gain true freedom, for we are no longer slaves to fleeting whims but masters of our own destiny, guided by the steady hand of discretion. Finally, we consider the gavel. Often seen as a humble tool, the gavel in the hands of a working mason chips away the rough, superfluous edges from a stone, preparing it to fit perfectly into the grand design. Symbolically, the gavel becomes an instrument of profound self-purification. It is meant to help us divest our hearts and consciences of all the vices and superfluities of life. Just as the stonemason uses the gavel to remove the angularities and imperfections from the rough ashlar, so too are we encouraged to use the symbolic gavel to chip away at our own character flaws. This means identifying and consciously striving to overcome our ignorance, our prejudices, our selfish tendencies, and all those habits that hinder our moral and spiritual growth. It is a call to continuous self-improvement, a relentless pursuit of refinement, transforming ourselves from rough, unpolished stones into smooth, perfect ashlar, fit to be incorporated into that spiritual temple of humanity. The gavel reminds us that the work of self-improvement is never truly finished. It is an ongoing process of introspection, correction, and transformation, leading us toward a more virtuous and enlightened existence. Through the square, the compasses, and the gavel, Mackey illuminates how Freemasonry employs the simplest tools to convey the deepest philosophical truths. These are not just implements of a bygone era, but potent, living symbols that continue to call us to a higher standard of moral conduct, self-mastery, and continuous personal betterment, guiding us on our journey to become better individuals and, by extension, to build a better world. Welcome back as we delve deeper into the profound tapestry of Freemasonry's symbolic language. In this fourth chapter, titled The Rough and Perfect Ashlar: The Human Journey, we explore one of its most potent and universally applicable symbols, the two stones that represent our very selves, from our raw beginnings to our aspirational zenith. Imagine, if you will, a block of stone fresh from the quarry. It's unhewn, uneven, jagged, bearing the marks of nature's tumultuous birth, perhaps with visible flaws, but also inherent strength. This is the rough ashlar, a powerful emblem of our natural state. At birth, we arrive in the world like this stone, unpolished, unrefined, a conglomeration of inherited traits, instincts, and uncultivated potential. We are marked by our inherent imperfections, our rough edges, our lack of deliberate shaping. Yet, within this raw form lies all the latent possibility of greatness, the capacity for growth, and the material from which something magnificent can be wrought. It is the uncarved block of marble, the diamond in the rough pure potential, awaiting the hand of the craftsman. Now consider its counterpart, the perfect ashlar. This is the stone that has been carefully selected, meticulously worked upon, squared, leveled, and polished until its surfaces are smooth, its angles precise, and its form ideal for its intended purpose. It is fit for the builder's use, capable of fitting seamlessly and structurally into the grand edifice. Symbolically, the perfect ashlar represents our ideal self, the perfected human being we strive to become. This transformation from the rough to the perfect is not achieved by accident, but through a conscious, diligent process of self-improvement. It is shaped by the tools of education, honing our intellect and understanding, by the discipline of virtue, refining our character and moral compass, and by the unwavering pursuit of knowledge, truth, and wisdom. It is the self-mastery that enables us to contribute meaningfully to the greater good, becoming a cornerstone in the temple of humanity. Mackey, in his insightful analysis, underscores that this journey from the rough to the perfect ashlar is not merely an abstract concept, but a living, breathing, and fundamentally personal project that spans the entirety of our lives. It is a continuous process of learning, unlearning, and relearning. We are, each of us, both the stone and the builder. We hold the metaphorical gavel and chisel, tasked with striking off the superfluous material, smoothing the rough edges of our prejudices, ignorance, and vices, and aligning our actions with our noblest aspirations. There is no final destination where the work abruptly ceases. Rather, it is a perpetual striving, an ongoing commitment to personal growth and refinement. Every experience, every challenge, every lesson learned serves as a blow of the mallet, a stroke of the chisel, shaping us closer to that ideal of perfected self. This eternal pursuit of self-improvement, this dedication to becoming a better version of ourselves, is the very essence of the human journey, mirrored beautifully in the enduring symbolism of the rough and perfect ashlar. It is a testament to the belief that within each of us lies the capacity, and indeed the imperative, to evolve and elevate our being. Welcome to Chapter 5, Light and Darkness, the Quest for Truth. In the profound tapestry of Masonic symbolism, few threads are as central, as vital, or as illuminating as the journey from the profound darkness of ignorance to the brilliant light of knowledge, truth, and genuine enlightenment. This isn't merely a philosophical concept. It forms the very bedrock of the Masonic experience, a symbolic narrative that resonates deeply within the human spirit and offers a powerful framework for personal growth. At its heart, Freemasonry posits that we often begin in a state of unexamined understanding, a metaphorical darkness. This isn't a judgment, but an acknowledgement of the human condition before intentional self-discovery. The ritual of initiation, or indeed, any significant personal journey of discovery, is precisely this search for light. Picture the candidate, often symbolically blindfolded or veiled, entering a new space. This isn't just theatricality, it vividly represents the mind veiled by prejudice, uncritical acceptance, or simply a lack of deeper insight. The process, then, is a deliberate, guided unveiling, a progression from obscured vision to clarity, from confusion to understanding. The light sought is not just factual information, but a deeper, more fundamental truth that reorients one's entire perspective. It's the moment when scattered pieces of a puzzle suddenly coalesce into a coherent image, revealing a greater reality and fostering a new awareness. We don't need to be initiated into a secret society to understand this transformative journey. Each of us, in our own lives, has experienced analogous moments, powerful personal epiphanies, those sudden, breathtaking paradigm shifts that forever alter our perception of ourselves or the world. Think of the moment a complex scientific principle clicks into place, illuminating years of study, or when a challenging life experience finally yields a profound insight, making sense of past struggles, or perhaps the dawning realization of a personal truth that frees you from an old, limiting belief. These are our personal light moments, instances where a fog lifts and what was once opaque becomes wonderfully clear. They are the intellectual and spiritual equivalents of stepping out of a dimly lit room into the vibrant sunshine, revealing colors and details previously unseen. Such moments are often indelible, marking turning points in our intellectual and emotional growth and guiding us toward a more informed existence. But the Masonic journey doesn't end with a single flash of illumination. Indeed, a cornerstone of its philosophy lies in the understanding that the quest for truth is continuous, unending, and ever-expanding. This is beautifully encapsulated in the phrase, the search for further light. The light received at initiation, while profound, is merely the initial glimmer, a beacon pointing towards a vast and boundless ocean of understanding. It acknowledges that no single moment or revelation can encompass all truth. There is always more to learn, deeper truths to uncover, broader perspectives to embrace. This concept urges the Mason, and indeed any seeker of wisdom, never to become complacent in their knowledge, never to assume they have arrived at the ultimate destination. It fosters a spirit of perpetual inquiry, intellectual humility, and an insatiable appetite for growth. Whether in the realm of science, philosophy, ethics, or personal development, the pursuit of further light ensures that the journey remains dynamic, challenging, and eternally rewarding. It is the understanding that true wisdom lies not in possessing all answers, but in continually asking better questions, always striving to ascend to a higher vantage point of understanding. Thus, the journey from darkness to light within Freemasonry, as illuminated by Mackey, is far more than a simple ritualistic act. It is a powerful allegory for the human condition itself, our innate desire to transcend ignorance, to embrace knowledge, and to embark on a lifelong, continuous quest for deeper understanding and personal enlightenment. It reminds us that truth is not static, but a dynamic, ever-unfolding reality, inviting us to forever seek that further light on our own paths. Welcome back as we explore Chapter 6, The Legend of Hiram Abiff. This is not presented as historical fact or religious doctrine, but as a powerful allegorical drama, a morality play impressing upon us the timeless virtues of integrity, loyalty, and the triumph of the human spirit. At the heart of this legend stands Hiram Abiff, the master architect of King Solomon's temple. He is depicted as a man of unparalleled skill, wisdom, and unwavering fidelity, a central pillar of the entire construction, deeply committed to his craft and its principles. The narrative reaches its dramatic climax when Hiram is confronted by unscrupulous individuals. They seek to extract from him certain secrets, entrusted solely to the masters, hoping to gain unearned advantages. Hiram, upholding his solemn duty and the integrity of his trust, steadfastly refuses to betray his obligations, insisting such knowledge must be earned, not stolen. Despite severe threats and ultimately violent assault, Hiram Abief holds fast to his principles. He chooses fidelity over personal safety, integrity over compromise, and honor over life itself. His refusal to divulge what was not his to share leads to his tragic martyrdom within the temple. His body is concealed, causing great lamentation among the true craftsmen and King Solomon. This core narrative, stripped of its ritualistic specifics, serves as a powerful testament to unyielding moral courage. It asks us to reflect on what it means to be faithful to our word, our principles, and our duties, even when faced with dire consequences. Hiram Abief becomes the archetype of fidelity, preferring death to dishonor, his loyalty absolute. The drama powerfully illustrates that integrity is a sacred trust, more precious than life. But the legend does not end with tragedy. It speaks to a deeper form of triumph, the theme of resurrection. This is not a literal physical resurrection, but a profound philosophical and moral one. After his death, though Hiram's physical form is lost, his character and legacy are resurrected. The raising of Hiram Abief symbolizes that a person's good character, virtuous actions, and embodied principles can transcend physical death. While the body perishes, the influence of integrity and moral courage lives on. Hiram's fidelity becomes a beacon, a timeless example. His name and virtues are perpetually remembered, effectively resurrecting his moral essence in future generations of Masons. This allegorical resurrection speaks to the enduring power of a well-lived life. It teaches us that by upholding our principles and acting with integrity, we build a legacy that withstands time and adversity. Our good works and noble character become immortal, inspiring others to moral excellence. The legend is a profound reminder that what truly endures is not physical existence, but the indelible mark we leave through virtue and truth. Thus, the legend of Hiram Abief, far from being a mere historical anecdote, stands as a vibrant, living drama. It is a perpetual lesson on the paramount importance of fidelity to our word, duties, and the eternal principles of truth and honor. It assures us that virtue's light, though tested, can never be extinguished. The spirit of Hiram Abief, embodying the triumph of integrity, forever shines as a guiding star in the Masonic firmament. Welcome back to our journey through the profound wisdom embedded within Albert G. Mackey's The Symbolism of Freemasonry. Today, we delve into a symbol as simple as it is deeply significant, the point within a circle. This elegant geometric representation offers a powerful lens through which to examine individual conduct and the very definition of our moral boundaries. At the heart of this symbol lies the point. Small, singular, yet absolutely central. In our analysis, this point represents you, the individual. It is the self, the unique consciousness, the moral agent, the one who stands at the epicenter of their own world, making choices and shaping their destiny. Just as a point is the fundamental building block of all geometry, so too is the individual the fundamental unit of moral responsibility. Every action, every thought, every aspiration emanates from this central, conscious self, which must strive for integrity and purpose. Surrounding this vital point, we find the circle. This isn't just any boundary, it is the definitive perimeter of our moral and ethical duty. Think of it as the due bounds of conduct, an inviolable line that encompasses all that is virtuous, honorable, and right. It represents the collective sum of our obligations to ourselves, to our fellow human beings, and to a higher moral order. The message is clear. The point: the individual must remain within the confines of this circle. To cross this line, to stray beyond its circumference, is to venture into the realm of vice, error, and moral transgression. It's a constant, silent admonition to stay true to the principles that define a just and upright life, never permitting our actions to breach the sacred trust of our moral compass. This brings us to one of the most crucial interpretations of the symbol: its profound connection to self-governance and the control of our inner passions. Life inevitably presents us with myriad temptations and desires, the seductive whispers of selfishness, anger, greed, envy, or unchecked ambition. These passions, when left untamed, are powerful forces that threaten to push us beyond that sacred moral circle. The point within a circle serves as a perpetual reminder of the need for temperance, prudence, and self-restraint. It is a visual metaphor for maintaining our equilibrium, for keeping our rational judgment firmly in control over our impulsive appetites. By constantly striving to keep our individual point centered within the circle of duty, we cultivate a disciplined character, capable of resisting external pressures and internal urges that would otherwise lead us astray. It's about charting a steady course, always mindful of the ethical shoreline that must not be breached. Thus, the point within a circle transforms from a simple drawing into a profound philosophical statement. It is a call to conscious, deliberate living, a powerful encouragement to define and then steadfastly uphold our personal boundaries of virtue. It encourages introspection, reminding us that true freedom isn't found in boundless indulgence, but in the disciplined self-governance that keeps us securely within the circle of our highest moral potential. This seemingly unassuming symbol encapsulates a timeless lesson: govern yourself, live within your moral means, and in doing so, you will find the path to an honorable and principled existence. Welcome back to our journey through Albert G. Mackey's profound work, The Symbolism of Freemasonry. Today, we delve into Chapter 8, The All-Seeing Eye, the Voice of Conscience. For many, this iconic symbol evokes images of surveillance, secret societies, and shadowy oversight. But in the world of Masonic symbolism, and indeed, in its ancient roots, the all-seeing eye holds a far more profound spiritual and deeply personal meaning. It is not an emblem of being watched by others, but rather a powerful reminder of divine truth, omnipresent watchfulness, and the inescapable presence of one's own conscience. The concept of an all-seeing divine presence is by no means exclusive to Freemasonry. Its roots stretch back through millennia, woven into the very fabric of ancient civilizations. One of the most prominent examples comes from ancient Egypt, where the Eye of Horus, or Wadjet, stood as a potent symbol of protection, royal power, and good health. It represented the watchful eye of the sky god Horus, an eye that could see all, safeguarding the pharaohs and the cosmic order. Similarly, other cultures featured comparable motifs: the Ujjet eye in Sumerian art, the watchful eyes of gods in Hindu mythology, or the single eye of Odin in Norse sagas, signifying wisdom gained through sacrifice and observation. Across diverse pantheons, this symbol consistently represented divine oversight, a benevolent or sometimes stern gaze that ensured justice, truth, and balance were maintained in the universe. Within Freemasonry, the all-seeing eye is prominently displayed, often at the center of a triangle or surrounded by a glory. It stands unequivocally as a symbol of the great architect of the universe, not a specific deity, but the universal principle of intelligent design, the creative force behind all existence. The eye signifies divine omnipresence and omniscience, an unwavering conviction that a higher power sees and knows all. For a Mason, it serves as a constant admonition. Every thought, word, and action is open to the inspection of this divine being. It reinforces the idea of an ultimate moral authority, a higher principle of right and wrong, against which our lives are measured. It is the silent, ever-present witness to our character, urging us towards rectitude and integrity in all our dealings, both in the visible world and in the private chambers of our hearts. This brings us to the profound connection between the all-seeing eye and the voice of conscience. In an era where privacy concerns often dominate discussions about surveillance, it's vital to remember that the Masonic symbol points inward, not outward. It speaks not of external monitoring by human agencies, but of an internal moral compass. The all-seeing eye is ultimately your conscience, that inner monitor judging your intentions and actions against a standard of truth and virtue. It's the part of you that knows whether your motives are pure, whether your word is true, and whether your actions align with your principles. Living with integrity becomes an act of respecting this inner divine witness, understanding that while you may deceive others, you can never truly deceive yourself or the higher moral principle you acknowledge. The all-seeing eye thus becomes a powerful call to personal accountability, urging each of us to live a life worthy of the divine spark within, knowing that ultimately, only truth can withstand the gaze of an all-seeing eye, be it the universe's divine architect or the quiet, uncompromising voice of our own conscience. Welcome back to our exploration of Albert G. Mackey's profound insights into the symbolism of Freemasonry. In this chapter, we delve into the three great lights, the volume of the sacred law, the square, and the compasses. These are not merely symbols, but essential guiding principles, providing direction, moral structure, and intellectual discipline for a Mason's life and work. Each light carries a distinct, yet interconnected, meaning, forging a path towards self-improvement. First, let us consider the volume of the sacred law. This fundamental light represents the revealed will of God, the holy book embodying a Mason's personal faith and providing divine counsel. It is the ultimate source of spiritual guidance, a moral compass imbued with higher purpose. It reminds us of our duties to the Creator and humanity, forming an immutable foundation for ethical considerations. It serves as a spiritual blueprint, encouraging introspection, faith, and reverence. Next, we encounter the square. As an operative tool, it ensures precision and rectitude. Symbolically, it represents morality, integrity, and honest conduct, the unwavering code for living square with all of humanity. It guides our outward actions, encouraging us to build character upon principles of virtue and honor, being truthful and equitable. The square serves as a constant reminder to keep passions and prejudices within due bounds and to walk the path of integrity. Finally, we have the compasses. This instrument draws circles and delineates boundaries. Speculatively, the compasses symbolize self-control, temperance, and rational thought. They represent our ability to circumscribe desires and keep passions within proper limits. They encourage us to expand our intellect, seek wisdom, and engage in critical thinking, while reminding us not to overstep bounds of propriety or moderation. They are the tool for intellectual discernment and personal discipline, teaching us to master lower urges and cultivate higher faculties. While each symbol offers profound lessons individually, their true power emerges when they work together. The volume of the sacred law provides the spiritual framework and moral directive, the why of our existence. The square translates these divine principles into tangible moral conduct, dictating how we interact with the world. And the compasses teach the discipline and rational thought necessary for self-mastery, controlling our inner world and expanding understanding. Together, these great lights form an integrated system for personal development. The VSL provides ultimate truth, the square ensures just actions, the compasses allow us to wisely discern and apply these truths, keeping baser instincts in check. Without all three, balance is lost, spiritual beliefs remain abstract, morality risks cold legalism, and self-control lacks direction. They are constant reminders for the Mason to strive for balance in faith, integrity, and wisdom, illuminating the path to a well-lived life. It's important to recognize the universal nature of this concept. While these symbols are specific to Freemasonry, the fundamental human need they address is universal. Every individual benefits from having guiding principles rooted in a higher purpose, a clear code for moral conduct, and the ability to exercise rational thought and self-control. We all require a source of inspiration, an ethical compass, and a tool for critical reasoning to navigate life's complexities. Thus, the three great lights stand as a timeless testament to humanity's quest for self-improvement and enlightenment. They are not merely objects, but enduring virtues and disciplines we are all encouraged to embody, guiding us to build lives of purpose, integrity, and wisdom. Welcome back, seekers of wisdom, as we ascend to Chapter 10, The Winding Staircase, the Ascent of the Mind. In the rich tapestry of Masonic symbolism, few images evoke the journey of self-improvement and intellectual enlightenment as profoundly as the winding staircase. It's an allegory, both simple and profound, mirroring our path towards greater knowledge and understanding. Mackey delves deeply into this symbol, explaining it represents more than just a physical structure. It is the very embodiment of progress, a steady, deliberate climb from the darkness of ignorance towards the light of truth. Imagine yourself at its base, looking up, knowing each step taken is a step closer to a higher vantage point, a clearer perspective. What are these steps made of? Mackey teaches us each riser and tread embodies a distinct facet of human knowledge. They are, in essence, the liberal arts and sciences, the foundational pillars of a well-rounded education and a cultivated mind. Envision them: the precision of arithmetic, the harmony of music, the logic of grammar, the eloquence of rhetoric, the vastness of astronomy, the beauty of geometry, and the insights of dialectic. These aren't just academic subjects, they are the tools of thought, the lenses through which we perceive and interpret the world. Each step mastered, each discipline embraced, strengthens our intellectual footing, preparing us for the next stage of the ascent. They build critical thinking, foster creativity, and broaden our intellectual horizons, allowing us to engage with the world more deeply. Yet, the staircase is winding. This isn't a straight shot to enlightenment. It's a journey with turns, with moments where the path ahead isn't immediately clear, where effort feels relentless. Genuine learning, as the symbol so powerfully conveys, is a gradual, often arduous process. It demands perseverance, patience, and an unwavering commitment. There will be moments of struggle, of doubt, of intellectual fatigue, just as there would be physical strain climbing a long, winding stair. True understanding isn't granted instantaneously, it's earned through diligent study, through grappling with complex ideas, through the humble acceptance that there is always more to learn. Each turn of the staircase represents a new perspective, a different angle from which to view the truth, reinforcing that progress is rarely linear. It's an iterative process of discovery and refinement, building knowledge brick by intellectual brick. This ascent isn't merely about accumulating facts, it's about transforming the self. As we climb, we develop not just knowledge, but wisdom, the ability to apply what we've learned, to discern, to understand the interconnectedness of things. The winding staircase ensures the view changes constantly, preventing intellectual stagnation, pushing us always towards new insights, new challenges, new levels of consciousness. The journey itself is the reward, the continuous growth and refinement of our inner being. This ancient Masonic allegory resonates profoundly with our modern understanding of lifelong learning and personal development. In a rapidly evolving world, the idea that education ceases with a diploma is long outdated. We are all perpetually at various stages on our own winding staircases. Whether through formal education, self-study, vocational training, or simply engaging with new ideas and experiences, the commitment to continuous learning is paramount. It's about cultivating curiosity, embracing new skills, adapting to change, and striving for personal betterment throughout our lives. The pursuit of knowledge, much like the climb, never truly ends. It's a dynamic, ongoing process of expansion, of pushing the boundaries of what we know and what we can achieve. The winding staircase isn't just a symbol from a bygone era, it's a timeless blueprint for a fulfilling and intellectually rich existence in any age. Mackey, in illustrating the winding staircase, invites us to embrace this journey. He reminds us that true progress, both intellectual and spiritual, is not a destination but an ongoing ascent, step by deliberate step, through the liberal arts and sciences, through perseverance, and through an enduring dedication to growth. Let us ever be ready to take the next step, to turn the next bend on our own winding staircases of the mind. Welcome to Chapter 11, where we turn our attention to one of Freemasonry's most eloquent and accessible symbols, the beehive, a profound emblem of the virtue of industry. This seemingly humble structure, buzzing with ceaseless activity, offers us a powerful lesson on hard work, cooperation, and the indispensable act of contributing to the greater good of the community. Observe the beehive, and you witness a miniature world of perfect order and unwavering diligence. From the moment the sun rises, each bee embarks upon its task with an indefatigable spirit. Some forage for nectar and pollen, others construct wax cells, some guard the entrance, while still others tend to the young or clean the hive. There is no idleness, no wasted motion, only a singular collective purpose, the prosperity and survival of the colony. This intricate dance of specialized labor, performed with such precision and harmony, stands as a vivid allegory for an ideal society. The bee colony operates as a living, breathing testament to organization, discipline, and the profound efficiency born from dedicated effort. Each bee, though small, is an essential cog in a magnificent, self-sustaining machine. This natural marvel serves as a constant reminder of the social and personal value of productivity and the imperative to avoid idleness. Just as a drone that fails to contribute is ultimately expelled from the hive, so too does human indolence sap not only personal potential, but also the vitality of the community. Mackey, like many Masonic philosophers, understood that true moral and intellectual growth blossoms from purposeful activity. When we are engaged in honest labor, whether physical or mental, we cultivate discipline, develop skills, and contribute tangible value to the world around us. Idleness, conversely, breeds stagnation, fosters vice, and diminishes both the individual and the collective. It dulls the mind and weakens the spirit, leading to a life less fulfilled and a society less robust. The pursuit of industry, therefore, is not merely an economic imperative, but a moral one, shaping our character and strengthening the fabric of civilization. The beehive ultimately teaches us that every person's work, when undertaken with purpose and diligence, contributes significantly to the well-being of the whole of society. Just as the seemingly insignificant efforts of a single worker bee contribute to the collective store of honey, so too does each individual's honest labor, no matter how seemingly minor, build up the common good. The teacher in the classroom, the farmer in the field, the artisan at the bench, the physician in the clinic, each plays a vital role. Society is not a collection of isolated individuals, but a vast, interconnected hive where the efforts of one support the endeavors of another. Freemasonry, through this symbol, implores its members to be industrious not for selfish gain alone, but with a profound awareness of their duty to contribute their talents and energies for the benefit and improvement of humanity. It's a call to active participation, to be a producer rather than merely a consumer, to always strive to leave the world a little better than we found it through our honest and dedicated toil. The beehive, therefore, is more than just a symbol. It is a blueprint for a life of purpose, utility, and collective prosperity. Welcome back to our exploration of Albert G. Mackey's profound work, The Symbolism of Freemasonry. Today, we delve into Chapter 12, The Anchor and the Ark, a section that speaks directly to the human spirit's enduring need for hope and resilience. In the tumultuous journey of life, these ancient symbols offer profound solace and guidance, representing a well-grounded hope and a place of safety amidst the storm-tossed seas of existence. First, let us contemplate the anchor. Far from merely a maritime tool in symbolism, the anchor is a powerful emblem of steadfastness, stability, and an unshakable hope that keeps us secure even when the waves of trouble threaten to overwhelm. Imagine a ship buffeted by a violent storm. It is the anchor, deeply embedded in the seabed, that prevents it from being cast adrift, dashed against rocks, or lost to the depths. Spiritually, the anchor reminds us that even when our world feels chaotic and uncertain, we must cultivate an inner conviction, a moral compass, and a faith whether in ourselves, in a higher power, or in fundamental principles that holds us firm. It is the hope that grounds us, that gives us the courage to weather the gale, knowing that we will not be swept away. This hope is not naive optimism, but a profound, reasoned belief in our ability to endure and overcome, rooted in solid principles and an understanding of our purpose. Next, we turn to the Ark. Across various traditions, the Ark, most famously Noah's Ark, stands as an unmistakable symbol of refuge and deliverance from adversity. When the world outside is consumed by chaos and destruction, the Ark provides a sanctuary, a vessel designed to preserve life and carry it through to a new beginning. It speaks to the necessity of creating a personal space, a mental or spiritual haven, where we can retreat, reflect, and gather strength when faced with overwhelming challenges. The Ark is not about escaping reality, but about navigating it safely, preserving what is precious and ensuring continuity. It represents the wisdom to prepare for future difficulties, to identify what truly matters, and to safeguard it. This could be our family, our values, our knowledge, or our inner peace. Bringing these symbols together, Mackey encourages us to recognize their practical application in our own lives. The anchor and the ark are not just relics of ancient wisdom. They are blueprints for building personal resilience. Life's turbulent seas are inevitable: loss, failure, illness, societal upheaval. To navigate them successfully, we need the anchor of steadfast hope, a belief in our capacity to adapt, learn, and grow regardless of circumstance. And we need the ark, our safe harbor, a cultivated inner peace, a strong community, a set of guiding principles, or even a literal place of comfort where we can find refuge and regroup. Building resilience means actively developing that inner anchor of hope and consciously constructing our ark, our personal sanctuary of strength and stability. It's about proactive self-care, ethical living, and fostering meaningful connections that provide support when the storms rage. The symbolic journey of the anchor securing the vessel and the ark providing safe passage becomes a powerful metaphor for our own capacity to not just survive, but to thrive by maintaining hope and seeking refuge in our values and inner strength. Through the powerful imagery of the anchor and the ark, we are reminded of humanity's timeless quest for security and meaning. They teach us that even in the face of life's most formidable challenges, a well-grounded hope and a carefully built sanctuary can provide the steadfastness and deliverance we need to navigate the waters, reach new shores, and ultimately find peace. Welcome to Chapter 13 of our journey through Albert G. Mackey's The Symbolism of Freemasonry, the Science of Geometry, the Blueprint of Life. Here, we uncover why geometry is so central to Masonic philosophy, symbolizing order, logic, and the divine blueprint of the universe and our own character. The ancient operative builders who crafted magnificent structures defying time discovered geometric principles out of practical necessity. To construct stable arches, precise walls, and awe-inspiring edifices, they intuitively understood the laws of form and proportion. Geometry for them wasn't abstract, it was the immutable set of rules that translated grand designs into enduring physical realities. This tangible connection to construction forms the bedrock of speculative Freemasonry, transforming physical tools into moral lessons for building character. At the heart of Masonic symbolism stands the letter G in the lodge. While representing God, the grand architect of the universe, it equally and powerfully signifies geometry. This duality underscores the Masonic belief that geometry is not a human invention, but the very language through which the cosmos was designed and ordered. To comprehend geometry, then, is to glimpse the divine wisdom and intelligence embedded within creation, understanding the Creator's rational approach. Just as a master architect meticulously plans for balance and proportion to ensure a structure's stability and beauty, Masonic philosophy urges us to apply these principles to our lives. Balance here means equilibrium between duties and desires, ensuring no single aspect overwhelms. Proportion speaks to the harmonious relationship of our actions and virtues to the overall goal of a well-ordered existence. An absence of balance or proportion in a building leads to instability or collapse. Similarly, in life, it brings chaos, stress, and a fragmented character. Freemasonry champions cultivating a life where justice is tempered with mercy, ambition with humility, and self-interest with communal responsibility. This pursuit of geometric harmony in our moral and intellectual architecture fosters a stable, resilient, and truly meaningful existence, much like a perfectly constructed edifice standing against time. Ultimately, geometry within Freemasonry transcends mere mathematics. It becomes a profound moral science, offering a precise, logical framework for comprehending the divine order and for meticulously crafting a life of purpose, integrity, and inner harmony. It is the enduring blueprint for both cosmic creation and our personal journey towards self-perfection. Welcome to Chapter 14, The Philosophy of Charity, the Bond of Humanity, in our exploration of Albert G. Mackey's profound The Symbolism of Freemasonry. Here we delve into one of Freemasonry's most cherished and often misunderstood principles, charity. While financial donations are a noble expression of human kindness, Masonic charity, or more accurately, Masonic love, encompasses a far grander and more expansive ideal than mere almsgiving. Mackey illuminates that Masonic charity isn't merely a transactional act of benevolence, but an active, pervasive principle: kindness, tolerance, and mutual support. It's the very essence of human connection, the invisible thread weaving the vast tapestry of humanity. This love extends beyond our immediate circle, embracing all mankind. It's the recognition of inherent worth and dignity in every individual, compelling us to treat others with compassion and respect, regardless of background, beliefs, or circumstances. This profound love forms the bedrock of our shared existence, fostering an environment where every soul can thrive. Within the lodge, this concept is beautifully symbolized by the trowel. Imagine the stonemason spreading mortar, the binding agent for individual stones. In Freemasonry, the trowel spreads the cement of brotherly love and affection. Just as mortar binds physical bricks into a sturdy edifice, so too does this cement unite men, both within the craft and in their broader interactions with the world. It's the symbolic recognition that through empathy, understanding, and shared purpose, we construct a more robust, harmonious society, a spiritual temple built on universal fellowship. The trowel reminds us to constantly reinforce the bonds that hold us together, making us a sacred band or society of friends and brothers. How then do we translate this philosophy into daily life? Practicing Masonic charity means embodying this active principle in every interaction. It's the genuine smile you offer a stranger, the patient ear you lend a struggling friend, or the willingness to assist someone in need, not for reward, but from human solidarity. It's fostering tolerance by truly listening to differing perspectives, seeking understanding over judgment, and celebrating human diversity. It manifests as mutual support, offering encouragement, sharing skills, or simply being a steady presence for those navigating life's challenges. Perhaps it's volunteering for a community project or advocating for unheard voices. It's building bridges of understanding, offering compassion in weakness, and celebrating shared triumphs. Ultimately, this Masonic definition of charity is a call to conscious, deliberate engagement. It's the recognition that we are all interconnected, and by nurturing the bond of humanity through consistent acts of kindness, tolerance, and mutual support, we not only uplift others but elevate ourselves, contributing to the grand design of a more benevolent and united world. Welcome to Chapter 15, Legends and Myths, the Power of Story, where we delve into one of the most intriguing aspects of Freemasonry as explored by Mackey: its profound reliance on ancient narratives to transmit its deepest philosophical lessons. Freemasonry, as Mackey meticulously illustrates, operates not solely on the plane of the empirically verifiable, but often in the rich, fertile ground of allegory. When we encounter tales like those surrounding the construction of King Solomon's temple, it's crucial to understand a fundamental distinction. These are not presented as literal historical accounts that demand rigid belief in their factual accuracy. Rather, they are profound allegorical legends. They are vehicles for moral instruction, designed to convey truths far more profound than any mere chronicle of events. The genius of Freemasonry lies in its recognition that factual exactitude is secondary to the enduring power of symbolic truth. It asks us to look beyond the surface narrative for the hidden philosophical meaning. Why, then, does Freemasonry choose this path of ancient legends rather than simply providing a rule book of ethical conduct or a list of philosophical tenets? The answer lies in the very nature of human cognition and emotion. Simple rules, while direct, often lack resonance. Be charitable is a clear instruction, but a vivid story of selfless sacrifice, of brothers coming to the aid of another, imprints that principle on the heart and mind in an entirely different way. Legends, particularly those woven around a monumental undertaking like the Temple of Solomon, offer a narrative framework that is inherently memorable, emotionally impactful, and deeply immersive. They allow the initiate to participate imaginatively in the struggle, the triumph, and the moral dilemmas faced by the characters. This engagement transforms abstract virtues into living principles, making them not just understood intellectually, but felt viscerally. The dramatic arcs, the characters, the trials and tribulations, all these elements combine to embed moral lessons in a way that dry aphorisms simply cannot. They teach through empathy and identification, fostering a deeper connection to the values being imparted. This approach isn't unique to Freemasonry. It taps into a universal human tradition. From the epic sagas of ancient Greece to the creation myths of indigenous cultures, from the foundational narratives of major religions to the folklore passed down through generations, mythology has consistently served as the primary mechanism for shaping human values and collective identity across all cultures and throughout history. These stories provide frameworks for understanding our place in the cosmos, defining right and wrong, illustrating the consequences of actions, and uniting communities around shared ideals. Freemasonry leverages this inherent human inclination towards storytelling, consciously employing narratives that resonate with universal themes of creation, order, justice, and personal transformation. By rooting its philosophy in these time-honored legendary structures, especially those steeped in the lore of the Temple of Solomon, it connects its members not just to a specific historical tradition, but to the very fabric of human experience and the enduring quest for wisdom and virtue. The legends are not merely stories, they are mirrors reflecting the profound journey of self-improvement and the timeless pursuit of light that stands at the heart of the Masonic endeavor. Welcome to Chapter 16, Building Your Inner Temple, the Great Work. Throughout our exploration of Albert G. Mackey's The Symbolism of Freemasonry, we've navigated a rich tapestry of allegories and symbols. Now, we arrive at the culmination, the ultimate purpose that ties every lesson together: the construction of a virtuous and enlightened character, an inner temple dedicated to our highest ideals. Recall the symbolic journey from the rough ashlar to the perfect ashlar. The rough ashlar represents humanity in its natural, untutored state, full of potential yet marked by ignorance, unrefined passions, and imperfections. Like that crude stone, we possess sharp edges and an undefined form. But the philosophy we've examined provides the tools for transformation. Through the symbolic application of the common gavel and chisel representing education, self-discipline, and conscious effort, we begin chipping away at our vices, smoothing the rough edges of our prejudices, and squaring our actions with moral principles. This diligent work gradually shapes us into the perfect ashlar, a finely hewn, smooth, and perfectly proportioned stone fit for the builder's use, symbolizing a character refined by reason and oriented towards truth and justice. It becomes clear then that every tool, every symbol, every legend we have discussed, from the square and compasses to the level and plumb, the trowel, and the narrative of Hiram Abiff, is a profound instrument of self-improvement. They are not mere archaic relics, but moral compasses and philosophical guideposts designed to assist in this personal metamorphosis. They are object lessons in self-governance, blueprints for ethical conduct, encouraging us to measure our actions against rectitude, to level our passions with reason, and to spread the cement of brotherly love. This, then, is the great work, the magnum opus of the human spirit. It is the most personal, noble, and lifelong project any individual can undertake, the deliberate, continuous construction of your very best self. It is the architectural feat of building your own inner temple, a sacred space within your being dedicated to reason, virtue, compassion, and truth. This temple is not made of physical stone and mortar, but of the principles you live by, the wisdom you cultivate, the integrity you embody, and the positive influence you exert. This great work is never truly finished. Just as a living temple requires ongoing care, our inner temple demands perpetual attention. It is a journey of continuous learning, adaptation, and refinement, where every experience serves as another tool, another lesson to further sculpt and adorn this sacred edifice. To engage in this work is to commit to a life of purpose, to strive for moral excellence, and to ultimately contribute a perfectly wrought, virtuous, and enlightened character to the grand design of human civilization. This is the profound, enduring legacy of the symbolism we have explored. Having explored the profound symbolism within Freemasonry, as illuminated by Albert G. Mackey, the natural question arises: how do we bring these ancient truths into our modern lives? How do we practically apply the blueprint for self-mastery and moral elevation? The answer lies in building your own inner temple, a sacred space of personal integrity and purpose. We invite you now on a transformative 7-day journey, a practical plan designed to help you integrate these powerful philosophies into your daily existence, making the abstract actionable and the profound personal. We begin with days 1 and 2, the foundation. Just as every great structure requires a solid base, your inner temple starts with honest self-assessment. On day 1, your task is to identify your rough ashlar. This Masonic symbol represents the unpolished stone, emblematic of humanity's flaws and imperfections. Look within. What is that one specific flaw, that habit or attitude you wish to refine? Be courageous, be honest. This is about identifying a clear area for growth, perhaps procrastination, impatience, or a tendency towards negativity. Pinpoint it clearly. Then, on day 2, you will identify your working tools. These are your inherent strengths, your virtues, your talents, or your positive habits that you can wield to shape that rough ashlar. Just as a mason uses the plumb, square, and level, you possess instruments for self-improvement. Are you resilient, compassionate, detail-oriented? What positive aspects of your character can you leverage to begin perfecting your identified flaw? Recognize these strengths, for they are your personal instruments of transformation. Next, we move to days 3 and 4, the blueprint. With your foundation laid, it's time to define the architectural principles of your inner temple. On day 3, your focus is to define your point within a circle. This potent symbol represents the individual circumscribed by the boundaries of duty. For you, this means clearly articulating your core moral boundaries, your non-negotiables, the unyielding principles that define your ethical compass. What lines will you never cross? What values stand as your personal perimeter of integrity and self-control? Jot them down, cement them in your mind. Following this, on day 4, you are to consult your great lights. In the lodge, these are sources of moral and spiritual guidance. In your personal quest, your great lights are those guiding values, philosophical texts, spiritual scriptures, or even profound personal experiences that illuminate your path and provide wisdom. What are the truths you hold most sacred? What texts or teachings profoundly inform your worldview and moral outlook? Spend time reflecting on how they guide your decisions. Now we transition to days 5 and 6, the work. This is where philosophy meets action, where intention becomes tangible. On day 5, you will practice charity with the trowel. The trowel spreads the cement that binds the building, symbolizing the spreading of brotherly love. Your task is to perform a deliberate, selfless act of kindness, an act of true charity, expecting nothing in return. It could be a kind word, a small act of service, or offering genuine understanding. Experience the unifying power of this simple gesture. Then, on day 6, you will use the gavel. The gavel removes imperfections from stones. Today, consciously choose to stop a specific bad habit, even for just this one day. Perhaps it's hitting the snooze button, mindlessly scrolling, or a particular unhealthy snack. Use your inner gavel to strike away this imperfection. This act of conscious discipline demonstrates your power to refine yourself. Finally, we arrive at day 7, reflection. This day is dedicated to internalizing your week's journey and preparing for continued growth. Take time to sit in quiet contemplation and reflect on the light you've gained. What insights have emerged? What subtle shifts have you noticed in your perspective or behavior? How has the process of identifying your ashlar, defining your blueprint, and performing the work contributed to a deeper understanding of yourself? This isn't merely an exercise, it's a revelation. Consider how you can continue the work on your inner temple not just next week, but throughout this entire month, and indeed, your life. What new habits can you sustain? What aspects of your rough ashlar still require attention? The building of your inner temple is a continuous process, a lifelong endeavor towards self-perfection and harmony. This 7-day plan is merely a first step on an extraordinary journey of self-discovery, guided by the timeless wisdom of the craft. As we conclude our exploration of Albert G. Mackey's foundational work, The Symbolism of Freemasonry, let's distill its profound wisdom into 3 memorable keys. These aren't mere summaries, but core insights designed to empower your understanding and encourage deeper reflection. Mackey's text is a guide for personal transformation, a roadmap for those seeking meaning. So, let's recap the essential truths that underpin this rich symbolic tradition. The first key to unlocking Mackey's work and the heart of Masonic thought is understanding that symbolism isn't a code for hidden secrets, but a universal language for self-improvement. It's not about what you can't know, but what you can discover within yourself. Mackey shows how symbols from the square and compass to the working tools are designed to make you think, challenge assumptions, and guide introspection. They are metaphors, allegories, and emblems, chosen not to conceal truth, but to reveal it more powerfully through personal engagement. Forget cryptic riddles, think of a timeless lexicon inviting you to ponder, reflect, and apply ancient wisdom to modern life. It equips you with questions for profound personal growth, rather than just handing out answers. This leads directly to the second key. The core lesson within all this symbolism is self-knowledge and, crucially, self-mastery. Mackey repeatedly emphasizes that the ultimate journey is inward, into one's own character. The iconic path from the rough ashlar to the perfect ashlar serves as the ultimate metaphor for this personal odyssey. The rough ashlar represents us in our natural, unpolished state, full of potential, yet imperfect. The perfect ashlar, precisely squared and smooth, symbolizes the individual who has diligently worked upon themselves, refining character, mastering passions, and aligning actions with ideals. This isn't a destination, but your personal life's work, a continuous process of learning, adapting, and striving for moral and intellectual excellence. It's about understanding strengths and weaknesses, cultivating virtues, and consciously shaping yourself into your best possible version. Finally, the third key reveals the ultimate aspiration to build a better world by first building a better you, using the timeless tools of virtue, reason, and love. Mackey makes it clear that individual improvement isn't an end in itself, but a vital prerequisite for contributing positively to humanity. Once we've begun to shape our own perfect ashlar, we are empowered and obligated to use our refined character, sharpened intellect, and broadened compassion to contribute to the temple of humanity. The tools he speaks of are moral and intellectual endowments. Virtue guides our noble and just actions. Reason illuminates our path, allowing us to discern truth and make wise decisions. And love, a profound and expansive love for humanity, fuels our desire to serve, uplift, and create harmony. This is the grand design to transform ourselves, and in doing so, become architects of a more enlightened, compassionate, and just world. It's a call to action, urging us to uplift the collective, one improved life at a time. These three keys, symbolism as a language for thought, self-mastery as the core journey, and building a better world through personal virtue, encapsulate the enduring power of Albert G. Mackey's profound insights. They challenge us to look beyond the surface, engage deeply with our inner selves, and recognize our potential as agents of positive change. May these principles inspire your own journey of purposeful living. As we conclude this segment of our journey through the profound symbolism illuminated by Albert G. Mackey, your exploration, of course, doesn't have to end here. This moment marks not a conclusion, but a renewed invitation to continue your personal journey into light, knowledge, and self-understanding. If you've found value, enlightenment, or even just a moment of intriguing reflection in unraveling these profound symbols today, we sincerely invite you to take a brief moment and simply like this video. Your like is far more than just a casual click. It serves as a vital beacon, signaling to YouTube's algorithms that this content is meaningful and deserving of wider reach. By doing so, you actively help us share these timeless ideas, These philosophical underpinnings and these calls to personal betterment with countless others who are, perhaps, diligently pursuing their own search for meaning, for purpose, and for deeper spiritual and moral understanding in their lives. Help us illuminate more paths on the grand mosaic of human consciousness. Now, as you reflect on the rich tapestry of symbols we've unveiled, from the foundational principles embodied in the square and compasses to the ever-watchful gaze of the all-seeing eye, we are genuinely eager to hear from you. We invite you to dive into the comments section directly below this video and share your personal insights. Tell us which specific symbol or concept from today's exploration resonated most deeply with you and why. Was it a particular legend that sparked your imagination, a moral lesson that struck a chord, or an ancient emblem whose esoteric meaning now shines brighter? Your thoughtful contributions and shared reflections are invaluable. They not only enrich the dialogue but also strengthen and expand this growing community of thoughtful seekers and fellow travelers on the path of wisdom. Furthermore, if this deep dive into the intricate philosophy, the compelling science, and the timeless symbolism of Freemasonry, as articulated by the Venerable Albert G. Mackey, has ignited a genuine spark of curiosity or a burning desire for further illumination within you, then we warmly and enthusiastically encourage you to subscribe to our channel. By becoming a subscriber, you are ensuring that you will consistently receive and won't miss any of our forthcoming explorations into timeless wisdom, profound practical philosophy, and the hidden, yet illuminating, meanings that subtly, and sometimes overtly, shape the very fabric of our world. Join our evolving fellowship, a digital assembly dedicated to the pursuit of knowledge, the cultivation of self-improvement, and the continuous unveiling of truth. Finally, for those who are now eager and prepared to delve even deeper, to truly immerse themselves in the comprehensive, meticulously researched wisdom of Albert G. Mackey, to hold his authoritative work in your own hands and ponder its insights at your leisure, we have made it effortlessly convenient for you. You will find a direct, easily accessible link to his seminal and indispensable work, The Symbolism of Freemasonry, illustrating and explaining its science and philosophy, its legends, myths, and symbols, located precisely within the video description below. Acquire your very own copy and continue your profound personal journey through its rich, enlightening pages, exploring its depths at your own chosen pace and on your own terms, allowing its wisdom to unfold within you. Let Mackey be your guide as you continue to build your own temple of knowledge.